I would actually love like a dark dystopian like future where the ending just reveals like the bad guy that everyone thought has just been dead for the last 10. Like you have this person who's like this person's doing something really shady and we don't know what's going on, and the spoiler is he's dead. And the people who's like, is just like, I know that's like a Sarah Jane thing, and Sarah Jane did that, but I want that in a more like dark, like gruesome, not even dark actually. I just want more of that being like I've been faking to be him for like 15 years, like not like like he's alive, dead, no, no, no. And also I don't think he was. Where what was it? Where I've been to stuff like the New York sort of like I haven't done the Eiffel Tower. I feel like that would be like a fun thing to go up and like see from the top view. But I don't know if that's like one of those things where like I don't know if that's like worth it or if it's like a bit disappointing. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know if that would be possible to do or like it worth it. I've also went to M&M's. I've also went to Florida, and take a wild guess why I went to Florida. It begins with a Mickey Mouse. It's obvious. Okay. You could tell that like I went to like Disneyland. Joe, if I'm gonna die here because it should be obvious it's 3 blanks if you count it correctly. Yeah. And then I don't know why he's doing all of this stuff. Should be obvious that it's a aim. No! Ugh. I'm dead. I've been killed. And murdered. So yeah. Is it still on? Okay. So yeah. This will be the last one for a while.
The answer is 0.5.
So, okay. 1% of 50 is essentially if I knew Freddy, but I didn't know what Phasma was. And I claimed because of that, I'll know every single part of the animatronic system. Or even stuff like 1% of like 1% of a 2-hour film, I would say is like, what, like 10 minutes? 1% of 2 hours.
The answer is 72 seconds.
Yeah. If it's like basically watching a Final Destination movie, watching 72 seconds, and then saying, oh, I thought this was a horror movie, so like no one dies. It's like, you know so little about what is out there. Because what we learn is, how much of space have we discovered? 5%, okay? Yeah. I don't know if I can do that. I feel like, oh well. So yeah, let's go back to these. Wait, no, wait. Just give me a second.
So yeah, I like this, but this is going to be shorter because besides the spoiler section, there's nothing more to add besides I love the characters and yeah, I love that. I know that I have also watched season 3, kind of, which I'm reviewing on the 7th in I think a week, which is weird and odd and quite frankly I don't care. Anyway, with this, the one thing I like about it is the mysteries and the fact that you can have 111 and then you can have a couple of episodes connected to things. But the one thing I like, which is more nearer to the end, is a lot of the time you would think you have certain amount of people that are here and you would think they would stay around. One of which is you have 3 main detectives. You have this sort of American, cowboy-esque doctor, a British detective, and sort of this other character. And there is stuff in season 3 that also deals with this, which I will talk about in 7th of July, very complicated. But the one thing I wasn't expecting at all, and yes, obviously when you watch the episode, it makes sense why. But the one thing I would have never betted, major spoilers, the wife that has a partner, because his one is already dead, or at least believes to be dead, but I'm not going to talk about that. Again, that's season 3. His partner dies. Which impacts the 2-parter finale. I did not think, if you would have told me that before I watched the show, I would have been or at least watch before season 2, I would believe you fully. But I do think this is interesting, why they do it, and I love it. I do absolutely love it. But yeah, it's fun, it's insane, the idea of being wait. It's just so cool and clever. And that's why I love it as an idea. So yeah, I do enjoy this and think this is really cool. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this, and yes, why I watched this is very stupid, but I felt like if everyone talked how bad this was, I felt like I needed to watch this. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and good night.
I love they're doing that. They're doing the 3 most iconic lines of it, just being ha! It's ha ha! Excellent. Okay. What's going on this time? Okay, that didn't work. Forms how long you've been playing the game. So I've done this. This is my 3rd game of Balatro. I played a bit on my app, but I've got 3 hours on this. So I've been playing this for 3 hours and 35 minutes, give or take, however many I've been playing on the app. So I've been playing a bit, but not too long. I've got up to the black deck, but you have to win a run, and you have to win a run to get the next deck, and I want to win the next deck, so I'm trying to get the next deck. So that's my plan. it is happening again. I also like the idea that in the episode I'm currently watching, they're trying to ban sugar. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of sugar, but I'd like to point, good beeping luck, being like, we're banning sugar. Good luck. What are you gonna do? Like, does it mean artificial sugar? Because artificial sugar is in, like, nearly everything. So, I don't know how you're going to do this. Also, how is this not working? It is annoying. Can you work, please? Okay. Stream manager. I am live. What the beep are you doing? Oh, wait, no. Let's just... Okay, I know overall it's fine. Basically, if you watch 6 minutes of a film, and then say you know all of the film, of a 2-hour film, that's it. You claim that I've watched all of, Final Destination because I watched the first 6 minutes, right? Which... you would see that and oh, I don't actually know if Final Destination is 2 hours, but that's besides the point. You get the idea. You see that and it's like, no, that's not possible because you don't know what's out there. And I know I'm just rambling on, but this is the thing that I actually believe in. We've discovered 5% of the known universe. That's not anything outside the known universe. If that exists or not, we don't know. We discovered life that had. We've discovered stuff that had life on it. We planets that can sort of be feasible on life. We discovered that Mars used to have microbiotic things. Am I gonna be like, by the way, there's gonna
Weirdly enough, that's the most military and unmilitary thing. It's like holding a gum up, being like, and then just doing roll the buttons on myself. And then it's like, I was like, hey, Tony. Wow, what do you think? So yeah, I'm doing this. And I'm gonna do it quick because So yeah, we all know about this. So, disclosure. Usually, I don't know how to put this besides I'm not gonna go on the animation versus animated because I don't know. So this is on Neva. This is on YouTube. From TikTok, it's just on a review. All of my reviews are under reviews, but don't watch. Review. I can just be like, review done. Just don't. But the only thing I like, just because again, it's a trope and I like it and it's funny, is the idea that they do this whole VR thing around like everyone's like, and it's like, oh, how do you do this discussion? It's like, oh. And then we take it off like, we're in day. I just like that because it's funny. But again, don't. Again, I like watching TV, so I make reviews on that. But this isn't worth it. This is... It's just not fun. Just don't. Now for some good news from bad to awesome. At least my opinion. But not it. But I hope you enjoy and good night.
That's what this is gonna be, like Def come back. The reason why I find this better than the balloons is because the balloons I know what I'm just annoyed about not doing the precision. This I'm finding a little bit better. It's just timing that I need to fix. Okay. No, he's actually being honest with that. Probably. Again, you think he's joking. He's not. Which is probably... I see. By the way, haven't you set up some custom logo panels? I have got some. I've got... If I show you, I've got this. So I've already got some stuff, and if you're saying, I have this, and on my TikTok version, on my main one, I have this. I've also got that for my TikTok. But overall, I don't think I am going to think about getting some, because at the moment, I don't get paid with a job. So overall, I don't think it's a good idea, because currently I can't. So I can, you know. Okay, that's good enough. What the? Okay, where's my mouse? Okay, don't need this. It's like, is it worth it? I'm steaming lemons. Please, we can't continue. Like, by the way, there's gonna be an alien who's gonna have 5 fingers, 5 toes, and basically look human, besides 1 or 2 minor features. No. Will there be an alien like us? Maybe not. But if you look at us and be like, there's no such thing as aliens, statistically speaking, out of the, like, 95% of space, there is likely some life out there. There is a strong possibility that life exists out there. There is something out there. I don't know if it does or doesn't, but I believe that there is a strong possibility that something exists out there. I don't know. Also, I'm gonna see what happens if I put this on 20. Would this be like the easiest thing to win? I don't know, I'm just gonna do it. But that's my belief. That will happen. Okay, I'm just gonna put Paraguay on because it's now. Oh, Jesus, what the fuck? Okay. Okay, let me actually just do this. Like. There's so many plays. What the fuck? This is the weirdest experience ever. I love the celebrating you always get the UK referendum. So they're offering me this new technology? Nope. I am noping out of here. So, yeah. This. I love it.
with the episode does have, I do love it. Again, it has that sort of like interesting thing. Obviously, there's a lot of episodes that I love with this. All of them I like. So why don't we just talk about it straight up? Because I could talk about broad strokes, but I don't care. I am going to do the whole thing. So yeah. Because each one, I also checked it on my iPad, then realized, oh wait, I can't check from my phone. Deals with a couple of things. Obviously, there's some episodes I'm going to talk more, and some I'm going to talk about less. But I am going to talk a lot about each episode, so straight up spoilers. I said I like the series, so let's do that. So, the first one I'm not going to talk more about is the idea that if someone has a bit of like their brain has a certain amount of things that they have, you would have to have the brain put something in. It's like someone who's lost part of their brain and then you can put it in and it's like digital storage. And it's, again, the over commercialized Power Plus, this plus, over premium membership. And besides that existing and it's annoying, this is just taken to the darkest extreme. And I like it that it's not the idea of here's like something that will put you in physical harm. Is just up. This is messed up, and this is. It's like the one on like the previous season where it was like the whole thing of like, oh, you're taking my lightness. It's not a thing of like you are not. It's not horror danger. It is. This is just messed up. Period. This is just messed up. Then you have the timeline one, which is somewhat magical, because yes, you have a device that does a thing, but you don't have an explanation. And throughout the whole thing, you're just sounding insane. I think it's like somewhat based on like the Mandela effect. If you don't know, the Mandela effect is there was a huge amount of people who believed that Mandela died in prison, which he didn't, and it's about a huge amount of people remembering the wrong fact. I've actually got in with another Mandela effect, which is the person who died. I don't know who originally started this, but someone brought it up to me. And then the person who originally in Harry Potter, the teacher, who like pulled out the plants, and someone was talking about it. And it's like, oh yeah, like they don't. It was like, yeah, I remember like my mum talking about it, and it's like, nope, she's alive. I'm like, okay, I remember, and I don't know that was like, oh yeah, I remember that, and it was like sort of like a fake thing because someone mentioned it, or because I'm pretty sure I did remember it. I don't know. It's crazy. The other one, which I do like, is replacing one actor with the other. Which, if I think what this is meant to do, because if you look at all of the current episodes, it's meant to talk about something. The first one is talking about the idea of like the premium subscriptions and making a dark version of that. And the other one is the idea of if you push someone down, they will like, I don't know, but it's like the idea of like feeling that scaredness of the world changing around you, which it would be terrifying. Yeah. And this one I think is like a big talking point of like a lot of actors are using de-aging, do this, and bringing like dead actors. This is reverse though by putting someone who's current into the past. And like doing this technology, I also find it terrifying of like she comes to life. And all of this I find insanely cool and interesting about way of like effed up. Again, it's not my favourite episode. My favourite is Plaything. Because one, this episode is the thing that they have currently on Netflix and you actually play the thing that he played. And like another episode, this has a callback, and I love the idea because, like, yeah, all of these episodes, to the most part, are disconnected. They are not connected in the slightest. But this one, the engineer from like the Choose Your Own Adventure, he's back, and I didn't expect it. I was like, him coming back? No, he wouldn't, but he did, and that is fun. That idea is so interesting of like bringing him back. He's here now, and it's so Cool. I also like the idea of like having this being like, so this is what I did do. So when you see all these things getting darker, more amped up, more insane, it's like, you can't do anything. It just keeps getting worse. And like, at first it's like, it's a game, and it's like, and learning what's happened, it's interesting, because I like the idea of like, rather than taking it like, it's the thing with somewhat Persona, where it's like, we know, like Persona 5, where like, we know he's in jail. How? That's the story. We know where he ended up. And I find it interesting when you get closer and closer, you get more and more people, and it's fun. Again, I don't know why I like that sort of storytelling where it's like you look back at what happened. It's the same thing with, no, I think it's Mementos, where he loses his memory and you do that, which I think is clever. You also have Eulogy, which I think is interesting. It's one of the only, besides I think the other one, which is another one connected to memories and loved ones, which they go into this VR sort of experience. I like it because it's that sort of idea of like looking back on memories and not hiding from it and not using technology as like a way to scapegoat everything, but a connection. And I find it really interesting. And that is one of the things that I find like clever. I also like how they visually show it. It's really interesting, and that creativeness. But obviously, my favorite episode, the SS Callister intro. Oh, that's terrifying. SS Callister intro Infinity. Because if you remember, SS is the sort of thing that is connected to, I think, what was the original thing? It was, I don't remember because I know what it is. It's the series, movie series run by J.J. Abrams. And they created, Alexa, stop! That's why I did that. Music. Anyway. They did a thing where they did a series they did an episode based on another Star Wars-like series. Again, I am admitting that I haven't watched that series, but I do know it, just not off the top of my head. I do know roughly. It's the one that's like Beat Me Up, Scotty. So I do know roughly about it. But that had sort of the old look to it. The one that wasn't by J.J. Abrams, and this one makes both partners, because at first it looked like one partner was like the manipulated one was a little bit better, but both were in, and I like the idea that he goes in and tries to mess me up, sort of hide the evidence. It's so interesting, and I absolutely love the idea. And how they continue it, I don't know how they're going to end it, and if they're going to make another one, I really hope they do. But I would think it would be really exciting where they go from here. So yeah, I did remember roughly what it was. It was Star Trek. But again, this is so fun with what it is, and so creative with all the episodes we have. I do know some people do, there are some episodes that people don't like the past, but in my opinion, every single one of these episodes, even the one I talked last about, is a hit. And watch it. It's worth it. We're really going from one end to the other, going from really high technology to really weird fantasy. So yeah. But for now, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked this video. And good night. Also, if you ask why I'm Salute, I just did it to start with, and I don't know why I'm continuing it. But yeah, good night.
Yeah, it's a clip show. Distracted by Ned Flanders. Yeah. He's also in the water, which is... Okay.
Jenny K. Key joins the madness.
Okay. Okay, how do you do that? Okay, I'm not seeing anything. But that could be me and not knowing how to use this actual thing. Yeah, no, I will accept it. No. And Eminem. Eminem. Okay. Okay. Okay, I've got a good batch. Okay. Okay. Don't need that. You don't have any seals, so that's good. Oh, wait. Oh, let's do... He'll do the same, but I have a healing thing, so realistically, I can heal with one. Okay. What? Oh, that's so weird. Yes, my high score is 200 because I put the easiest version on high. Okay. Okay, this is the last one, and I'm gonna put it on 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. But most likely I will die in the first couple of minutes.
Flight 291 is now boarding. All passengers, please proceed to gate 4.
So now we got. Oh wait. Oopsie. I forgot about this one. So yeah, this one. I kind of forgot this because of how I did it, I kind of moved everything around and then looked what was on number 2 when the next one for yesterday would have been what would be today number 1 and what was number 1. So now I'm not going to do that. Anyway, I think this is not as good. I like it, I find it interesting, but because the first one I watched has one character from that moved to season 2, I love and season 4 connects quite a bit with the second season I watched. This one is interesting. There is one character that I am going to say does come back in this. Is, I think, the only character in all 4 of these. But besides the talk about the space and the travel, it's sort of like, the one thing I will say, I love this art style. I know we have the one which is this one, which is for the other 1, 2, 3, but it makes it really interesting and looks really sort of like fun. So yeah, the only really thing that I like about spoilers, and it is quick, is the whole thing is about going with the space trip. And I like the idea of like trying to sneak on board is fun, but it's in this chaotic way. Again, I don't really remember this. I just want to talk about this so I can be like, yes, I finally did this. This is stupid, I fully admit that. But 2, I am going to talk about the next one, and the idea that there's 2, and this sort of shows the impact of the world getting destroyed, is interesting. But yeah, I do think this is interesting. Again, it's not my favourite thing of this series, which is fun, because it is completely disconnected, but not completely. There are through points. Again, I feel like I'm missing stuff from, again, the first one I watched, but finally, we're actually going to go back to this one. I promise this time, this is correct. But yeah, good night.
Perfect timing. Do you know what I would love as part of an episode would be like aliens reveal, someone's like, oh no, aliens are real. Where it's like, aliens are real, and then they're like, yeah, we've known aliens are real since like 1990. Like, who cares at this point? That's what I would love. Also, I'm just creating like a list of shows I would love to exist. Okay. Again. Eventually I might want to look into getting something, but not right now. I said that I can't do it right now because, again, I'm trying to sort of like just more improve. I don't think I needed that, but that was worthless. I'd like to point out, realistically, I don't think a sugar ban would be a good idea because realistically there's better things that you could do. Eminem wins. It's like, yeah, like sugar's not good for you, and even I have joked that, oh, I got rid of it anyway. is like sugar's worse than cocaine. But I don't think straight up just being like, and I'm banning it will just help sometimes. Free. I want the one. I feel like no, college prices are like insanely high. I was like, what are you taking courses on? Ow, ow. Change. I'm taking classes in computer code. I would legitimately love a sitcom based in a university that does just crime code. Welcome to Murder 101, how to best murder your neighbor. Now today's class is about disposing a body. Now methods to dispose of a body include like just cutting the body up. You could also use acid, but that is a thing that will be tracked and people might know where they are.
So yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. So yeah, this, which like the one but kind of got slotted in before, has a bit of an interesting story, which is I started episode 1 and stopped. I don't have a good reason, I just stopped. I think other stuff came up, and because my system was, back then when I was watching stuff, was basically watch, review, done. Compared to now, which is a lot more complicated, which is basically, I try and watch stuff, but to make sure that I, a person who legitimately now wants to watch more varied stuff, yeah, there is going to be priority. I've got a lot of Crunchyroll, I've got a lot of Disney stuff, that's so good, their priority. But someone's like, watch this, watch that, I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a shot, and I'll just put it in the list. So yeah, at the moment Netflix is getting priority. We got like 2 every single rotation, which because there's so much I want to watch on it. But that's besides the point. With this, I was like, okay, I'm actually gonna watch this. This is fun. I want to talk about it, but the stuff I want to talk about are spoilers. So yeah, the whole power of negators is awesome. I just love it. I just think it's cool. I love the idea. I love the idea of like, here is a room of the world. Like you get undead, unluck. It's the opposite of that thing, which I like. I like the idea of being negating like a rule of the universe. It's a fun idea, and when you get into the other ones, untruth, injustice, unfair, I love the idea. Even unbelieve, which turns out to be a fake for like obvious reasons. Not obvious reasons, but like unbelieve is like a cover one, which I want to know if we ever see unbelieve. I have checked a couple ones that haven't shown up. some that haven't shown up, which I actually might not talk about because season 1, and I just do my own research, and I'm not going to be like, and then here's the comic, here's the manga. No. I just think it's a cool idea, and then learning about the loops, the world being like looping and looping and looping, it's insane, and being like, oh, I'm actually being on the bad guy scene. Again, it's all subverting and interesting, and trying to think that these 4 and how is it going to end. I'm excited, and I want to know what's going to happen. Is it going to be another one? What's going to happen? And I love it. I like the idea. The last thing I'm going to say before I go into general themes is Unknown is one of the most saddest stories ever. And then they give it to, well, I look into these people with such bravery, like, people are literally forgetting you exist. How are you not sad about that? That is well done, and you are amazing, but that is... I just love this idea in general. So yeah, I do like it. I find it interesting. And overall, it's a fun idea with unique ideas. Definitely go and watch it. It's so fun. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and time to go once again back to these streets. Yeah, we're going to be doing this as well. Let's go back.
Jeez, how many times are you choking your own child, Homer? But the one thing which is definitely the case is I would like I forgot the point that I was saying. It's like that's why there's been a bunch of like stuff, is because this is a clip episode. Angels and yep. Oh, that's good. Okay. Create the lost tarot card during this run. Full not excluded. Create the lost tarot or planet card during this run. Okay. Okay, one and one. Okay. I would like to point out, this is just the best deck for me. Because realistically, if this doesn't work, I'd like to point out, I feel like I've just got the best round because I just immediately won off the 2 rounds. Oh, oh. Oh shoot, I didn't have time. I thought I did it in time. But I didn't. So yeah. Uh. Jeez. Season. It doesn't matter because overall I feel like even if most likely I might get really close to finishing this season and next season by this all. I also haven't been bothered to I've got a whole note system on the Simpsons, but I haven't updated it because I know I'm gonna be watching a couple of episodes, and I do the same thing for the weekend. So if I get the weekend come in place. If I do one thing, which it okay, so what I'm I sometimes I just need to wait for this.
Welcome back for some murder on Ripper Street. Yeah, there's gonna be 5 reviews. I need to do this better. But yeah, this I don't have much to talk about because the mystery is good, and I really do like it. It's really fun, and I really like these characters. But besides certain things, which because I have started to watch season 4, so I don't want to make sure that I don't be and then these. Because there is a really fun thing in season 4, which I can't talk about because just free for this one. I do love the series; it's really cool. So one thing that's happened is you're having a group divide, and the main detective at the time, because this guy was the main sort of detective through the first season and during quite a bit of season 2, gets. Can't mention that yet, because that's the spoiler. Why don't I just go to that? Sorry, my computer's over here, I'm standing over here, and that's the only time. There's probably a new way to do this in new thing, but, until then, I'm going to deal with it like this. So, the new detective, this person, who is the sort of main head detective through most of season 1, 2, and 3, kind of steps down, because before season 1, his wife died with his child. And then, the child's back. Why? And then he comes back because he originally leaves and then comes back. And I like that whole subplot of what's going on? Why is this happening? It's really interesting and I really like it. And the direction they go with that. I also like putting the person who was, again, the one below him as above him, because it really was in season 4, and I really want to talk about that, but I'm not, which is fun. I also like the whole, again, I like the mysteries of why he came back. It's really fun, but yeah, not really much to talk about this, because I like it, but there's not much to say, but do absolutely watch it. Now this is a weird thing to go to next. Power Rangers! Go, go, Power Rangers! Yes, I know it's not technically that, but I'm just going to use it for fun.
I would like to point out one of the things I said, and I just forgot because I'm somewhat of an idiot. Was I wanted a series that was that God exists, but God's an alien. I don't know how they'll do that. You know what type of vibe of that? It's aliens exist. It's yeah, but And then who's this? Like, oh, yeah, I'm God, and I don't know how it would be done. Like, sci-fi, you don't need to go Christian. I'm fine with, like, you creating your own, like, sort of, like, God and pantheon. That's up to you. You can even go with, like, the ancient Greeks, or, like, that stuff. I don't care. But, like, I like the idea where, like, whereas, like, people realize you get, like, Earth similar to what we have now, but the idea would be, like, the gods would be fictional. Not fictional, but like aliens. And that would be fun. Who's... Yeah, do this and then use... Okay. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of 3 and then get rid of these 2. So it's 1 out of 3. I'm gonna play my odds because there's only 2 things. It's 1 out of 2, and then I'm gonna drink because it could easily be a shot. Okay, actually did knew that at this point. So at this point, I'm just gonna take two of these to the face. Oh, that's what we need in football. Mummies, and not... Okay. 3 out of 3. Let me look at the offices. I need a score of like 200,000 to get any office. 8,000. I have been to these 2. I don't think I've been to this one. Challenges, I've seen. And then I have all of these. I might try adding this or this. Because that could be like useful overall. I don't know. I also might try some other stuff I might like, but again, I don't know how long I'm going to be, so even though this is going to come out, which I'm going to actually show, I admit it's a bit frantic. I also admit, it's also mad. Now I just need to wait about that. I'm just gonna open this. Out with that. Get cured revolved. I'm not that interested in it, and yeah, probably for my birthday maybe. That could be something useful, and I could do it like a disease cure. That could be like an idea. Also, yeah, no, it's right here. Anyway, let's just check the sound. Let's see if that works. Hello? Does that work well? Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. It's one of those things where I won't do until, you know. Power Rangers! This isn't that, but I just like to. Let's talk. So yeah, this series is another one of those sort of like anime, which is sort of like about a person who gains strong. That's besides the point.
I like this because I think this is a fun idea. The idea of someone who's from, because you have fantasy, which has very extreme, very magical, and then you have Power Rangers, which both have emotional things, both have emotional beats, but overall gain this sort of like magical power through this insane thing, and then coming together is this insane, yet still having emotional madness, and it's fun. So yeah, but the one thing which I like is most of the time when you see these guys, it's you go to another world and the other world doesn't matter. And for the most part, it makes sense because you're not magical going into either this place. Or the only exception would be, but for this I am going to do this, would be if you went from magical to, you know, not magical, because again, the main point is the other one. But in this, both worlds are given focus. Which, yes, there are times where that happens, but it's either you focus on the present world or the past world. But I like the fact that they're bringing in the Power Rangers, which is my speculation for maybe there's going to be more. Maybe, like, they're going to bring more of the Rangers, because they talked about, like, we'll find him. And it's really interesting. If that happens, what's going to happen? Like, the new group, the other group, are we going to have a conflict? I feel like yes, because I feel like that's one of the things where it's like two groups. So, like, if you've seen Power Rangers, even though I've been referencing it all the time, this is called, like, the Red Ranger that has Power Rangers imagery. You can kind of be like... But I do think it is a fun, insane idea that all of this is sort of, like, happening. So, yeah. I do like this. I do think this is fun. But overall, there's nothing much to talk about besides maybe the more teams coming in, which would be fun. And obviously my thing that I like being that they do talk about the Power World alongside bringing in this. As in, because I feel like that just introduced, like I said before, them coming to that world. But, yeah, go and watch it, it's fun. I recorded an exit, but then I realised I didn't do this. So let's do yeah. I don't actually have one character for this because this is just fancy and this is just fun. But yeah.